Well, I'll tell you what's a sign of hope. Like on the 21st in England, at Runnymede, where Magna Carta was signed in 1215, there's a group of people, they're going to raise the flag of the Republic of Albion. And they've declared independence from the crown system. They're modeled a lot of what we're doing in the Republic of Canada. But all over the world now, people are doing this. We're saying, look, we've got to form our own local assemblies in our own towns, pass our own laws, take back power, create our own sheriffs, recreate England from the grassroots, just like we're doing in Canada and elsewhere, right? And that's where the hope is. People want to build something new. They want to teach their children with their own curriculum. They want their own health systems and food self-sufficiency. I'm getting this from all over, and that's the work that needs to be done. I mean, the demonstrations can ignite us and bring us together, but the real work is building those alternatives on the ground, and that's what 90% of my work is, besides the work of the court, is doing that with people.
Yeah, and I never thought I would live through a sense that's in the air right now of people wanting so much change. So the next question is from Zish. What strategies can Kevin recommend, ideas that we can implement so we can get back to Magna Carta?
Well, it's the recognition of what Magna Carta is in the first place. And most people, including in England and America, don't even know what it is. It wasn't granting rights. It was, for the first time, restricting authority of the church and the state, and saying, like, the idea that you're innocent before the law until proven guilty, you have to be charged and see the evidence against you, all of that stuff. It came out of it. Magna Carta said these are rights born within every Englishman. They're inherent in you. They can't be taken away. And that idea is revolutionary. We've got to recover that. And we do that in practice by forming our own common law courts. And I've written books about that, the Common Law Training Manual. This one, which is selling like hotcakes, Governing Ourselves, a handbook on personal political spiritual sovereignty. That's on Amazon. You can get it. And, you know, so, I mean, it's building then your own community, and contact us and we can help you do that.
3,000 watching live now. Thank you, viewers. Don't forget, Kevin's links are in the description box, including for the books. So Sasha, who's just tuned in, wants to know, Charlie was sniped with professional aim. Does Kevin think the person they arrested is the right person? My apologies if this was already answered.
No, the young student who they set up couldn't have done it with a bolt-action rifle any more than that guy could have nicked Trump's ear. You know, it's a professional job. And I, again, say, you know, does we believe the Danites, the Mormon hit squads with the Vatican Assassination Bureau did it with consultation with the FBI, quite possibly, because of their link with the Mormons.
Just like the JFK assassination as well, didn't he have a dodgy rifle?
Oh, yeah, it was, they proved they couldn't have done it. It was bolt-action rifle shooting through trees. It's so ridiculous.
Is the Orthodox Church involved?
I don't know. You'd have to say why you think they are. I mean, you know, they have no love lost with the Vatican. You know, I mean, an example, the Vatican sponsored the third largest death camp in Europe in the 1940s during World War II, Yevsanovich death camp, to kill 800,000 Serbs because they were Orthodox. It was run by the Archbishop of Sarajevo, Ivan Saric. Pope Innocent XII sponsored this death camp. And then a lot of these guys were brought to America under Project Paperclip after the war. So they buried the knowledge of all that. But no, the Orthodox, that's why there was so much civil war in Serbia and before, when Yugoslavia broke up, because, you know, 1 million of your people slaughtered. What are they going to do in retaliation, right? I mean, so yeah, there's a long bloody history, you know, with a cross on top of it.
Ron wants to know, is there evidence that the Jesuits are involved at the highest level?
They're behind everything financially, you know, the real power behind the throne in Rome. And CITIBANK, you know, Bank of America, I mean, heavily invested Jesuit money. So, I mean, yeah.
Dred's question, we've already talked about the looks like signals. Kevin's not seen that video. I've seen it. It is quite suspicious. So Goldie, are politics coming to an end as we know it, as we start to see that politics only are a screen for what is really going on?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, don't forget, politics comes from the Greek word polis, which just means the city of Athens, where they first practiced direct democracy. And, you know, we talk about that in there. So politics itself isn't a bad word. It's just being associated with corruption and betrayed hopes and vote rigging.
Someone just sent me some news on the Epstein files. Let me just see if that is if that's just come up or not. No, I don't see anything new there on that. Any time past hour. No, I don't see any new news on that, so that's nothing. All right, so I'll go to the next question. Let's see, where was I? You know, last, so we've done that one. We've done Benjamin Netanyahu. Does Kevin think Tyler Robinson's boyfriend, Lance Twiggs, knew about the shooting?
I don't know. You see, I haven't looked at a lot of the detailed evidence the court has yet. I was just notified about this person who came forward. So I'm not sure about that one.
People all of a sudden have complete confidence in the FBI. How can we believe them today? That's very telling. Be careful. JFK, 9/11, FBI, Mossad. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, right. All power acts the same.
What are your thoughts on the FBI? Are they just an enforcement arm for the globalists?
Well, like every agency now in so-called government is in any country, right? That's it. We're in a corporatocracy, right? And you don't last long, like I demonstrated. You don't last long in any institution if you try to confront that, you know, and start digging up the graves, right?
Does Kevin believe there is a good chance they will unalive the shooter that they've pinned it on? That the shooter will end up mysteriously dying? Again,
you know, to do that, I'm often divided on that. I mean, in a way, they don't care because they're above the law and they run everything and they know they can get away with anything. So why do they have to demonstrate anything to people, right? So I'm not sure. I don't even know if that matters. We can't get distracted by this too much, but keep on the hard evidence. Right?
Does Kevin know about the Knights Templar? Come on, secret lady. Kevin has divulged 2 more components of the Vatican I've never even heard of this evening.
Well, yeah, like, I know. Well, yeah, I mean, the Templars, it was funny, just a little anecdote, if you don't mind. When I was in Europe, somebody came up to me and she said, Kevin, I've done a psychic reading on you, and you're the reincarnation of Jacques de Molay. And I said, oh, you mean the last Grand Master of the Templars who was burned alive out say, Notre Dame? And I said, it's funny, I don't have dreams about being burned alive. But, oh, well. So anyway. But anyway, you know, they got killed because they were so rich, and the Vatican and the King of France wanted their money, right? And it's one of the reasons they got wiped out. They were the first bank, I believe, in Europe.
Always a financial interest. Mark, just wondering, Kevin, how are you doing? How is everyday life, and where does your energy come from? Can you give us a Bible verse to cheer us all up?
Thank you, Mark, for asking that, because nobody ever does, or very rarely. It's a challenge, but I get strength the more I do this thing, because, you know, if you live long enough, you get strong and you get really clear about what needs to be done. And so it's kind of a selection process. Anyone who lasts long in this work has achieved that strength. And I get strength all the time. Like, for example, these folks in Buffalo, New York, who are putting their lives on the line for this murdered priest, Joe Moreno, right, in his memory and what he tried to bring out. And so we hold each other up all the time. And that's why we got to always remember we do this together. And we got to, like I talked about earlier, forming our own communities, having as much human contact with each other. That's what keeps us going. And Bible verse, well, there's lots of them. But I remember Psalm 27 says, unless you build on, unless God lays the foundation, you build on sand. And if you're an atheist, you even believe you build on truth. You build on what is real, and that's your most solid foundation. So anyway, we can write to me. We'll talk more about this.
So Patrick on X is saying, is this the beginning of the Utah LDS state AG, etc., being exposed for covering up crimes, corruption, human transportation?
It'll help. I mean, it's already been exposed. Like 10 years ago, Asia Dutson and other Mormon survivors were telling me that time and again, it was showing, they showed how the FBI, Homeland Security came in and were covering for these guys, you know, hard evidence, there were attempted lawsuits, you know, and, you know, so the problem isn't evidence or any of that. It's creating new systems where we can fight back and win and not rely on the present court or government at all. And that's a long, hard struggle, but we've got to start building our own courts and our own sheriffs and our own means of protecting our children ourselves, right?
Sylvia, do you see a movement against the elite and all the corrupt leaders organization starting up soon, or is it in the making as we speak?
It's been going on a long time. And, you know, what we do is just one piece of many pieces. And, but it's all got the same kind of 100th monkey phenomena happening. Everyone's now getting the same idea that self-governance, you know, sovereignty is not just for myself, it's for all of us. It's a spiritual and political thing too. But you can't get it through the present system. You got to recreate it on the ground. I'm in touch. We have conference calls all over the world, people in over a dozen countries now who are doing this, you know, and so I urge anyone watching to get in touch with us, and we can plug you in wherever you are to that whole really life-giving movement that's reclaiming our planet, all of us. Right?
Troll wants to know, why did this have to happen right now? How does it fit into the big picture?
Oh, you mean the killing? And,
yes.
And all of this? It's another maggot on a dying corpse, you know, or a dead corpse. You know, it's another symptom of something much more fundamental we all have to do. And it starts by looking in the mirror and saying, how am I complicit in this? Not a stranger I've ever met, but how am I contributing to this problem? What am I doing right now? Not talking, but what am I doing to help save one child's life? And that we're giving you the means to do that. So again, contact us. Right.
Next question from Abundantly. How can we, the people, take back power from the Ninth Circle cabal? Seems like everyone in power is complicit. Well,
we've shown in the past, and that's why I really urge folks to go to murderbydecree.com and look at all our old videos and our history. You know, there's a video posted there. One of the first times we occupied the Catholic Church in Vancouver, me and a lot of Indigenous survivors of these death camps, they call, you know, church school, residential schools. And to see the priest run out the back door when we showed up, and to see all of the people in the pews stand up when we had a banner saying all the children need a proper burial, and our elders were drumming, and they all just stood up. They weren't hostile. They knew we were doing the right thing. They didn't want to be part of this, but they're caught in it. You know, you're born into a system. It controls, especially Catholics. They're very fear-based in a lot of their beliefs. And so we don't attack them. We say, come out, pull out of these institutions, and they'll collapse. That's all you have to do. Just pull out, and we'll start again.